Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be ranking all of my stick foundations. Now, I have a dry skin type and it can be hard to find a good stick foundation for a drier skin type because stick foundations are often a little bit more on the dry side. But I love the convenience of a stick foundation. I love that it is, of course, in stick form. You can apply it directly to the face. You can take it off the stick with a brush. It blends out quickly and you're good. It's so much more convenient for travel, for ease of use. It's just a very convenient product. So I have been on a mission for quite a while now looking for the best stick foundations that meet all of my needs and preferences. So today I'm going to be ranking these 6 stick foundations that I have tried over the years and let you know what I think is worth it. So if you are like me, maybe you have a similar skin type, maybe you just really love the convenience of a stick foundation but haven't found the perfect one, let me help you out. So coming in at number 6 is one that I think is really better as a prep step. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Skin Sheer Glow Tint. I'm a huge fan of Charlotte Tilbury. I love so many of her products, but I have never gotten along with her complexion products. I do not have a single Charlotte Tilbury foundation that I like. And this is just no exception. So the packaging I do think is beautiful, but this stick is essentially her Hollywood Flawless Filter in stick form. So I will be popping up swatches of all of these, but if you love the Hollywood Flawless Filter, you might really like this. But if you are going to be wearing this on its own, you have to want to be very glowy. This is going to give you very minimal coverage. This will blend out very quickly, but the coverage is very sheer. You're not going to get much coverage at all. It might slightly even out your skin tone, but it's not going to do much in that regard because it is a very sheer product, but it is incredibly glowy. This made me so shiny. It wasn't even flattering. I did not like this whatsoever. This is one, like I said, that you might want to use as a prep step. Maybe you use this and then go with a powder foundation. That's also a great idea, but this on its own as a foundation is an absolute no for me for how greasy and shiny I looked. I had the shade 1 and the shade is good, but the product itself just did not work for my preferences. I just do not want to be this glowy and I do want a little bit more coverage, and for the price point, I just could not work with this product. Coming in at number 5 is one that's been around for quite a while. This is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Skin Finish Buildable Foundation Stick. I have the shade 120B Vanilla, and I really wanted to like this one. This one is one that I found early on in my stick foundation search. I just don't like this. This does give a really good coverage. This is definitely a medium to buildable coverage. You can definitely get a good full coverage with this one if you want to build it up. I currently use this to carve out my brows because I do still love to clean up my brow area. I do just love those clean lines. So I do still love this for that purpose. And the shade also works very well for me. This is a very thick formula and it is not a good one for dry skin. If you have dry skin, this is going to cling to all dry patches. It blends well enough, but it is going to cling to dry patches and it is going to feel heavy on the skin. So I absolutely don't recommend this, particularly if you have a drier skin type. This might work better if you do have an oilier skin type, but for dry skin, this is an absolute pass. I do like the packaging quite a bit. I like the shade, but overall, this product in general just did not work for me. So coming in at number 4 is from Merit, and this is the Minimalist. I have the shade Silk. Now, this one is quite nice. The packaging, as you can see, is quite luxurious, and it does look very expensive. It is a twist up, and as the name would indicate, this is called the Minimalist because this can be used as a foundation or a concealer. I would imagine pretty much any foundation can be used as both, especially sticks, but that is what this one is marketed for. They have since redone this and you do get a little bit more product, so these actually are a little bit larger. I like this. It blends out really beautifully. It's very lightweight on the skin. It's very comfortable, and it definitely doesn't cling to any sort of dryness, but because it's so small, you do go through this very quickly. And this is also on the more light medium coverage end of things, which is fine, but I do personally prefer a bit more coverage. So I do think this is a really nice stick foundation if you do prefer something that is a little bit lighter in coverage. If you're not looking for a lot of coverage, I think you might really, really like this. I think it's an excellent product. It's just that I do prefer a bit more coverage personally. Coming at number 3 is from Dior, and this is the Skin Perfect Face Stick in the shade 0N. 0N is my absolute perfect foundation shade. So I love that, of course. And I do love the packaging on this foundation stick. This definitely has a fragrance to it, and it is a pretty strong fragrance, but to me, it just smells very clean and fresh. But just keep in mind, if you are someone who does not like fragrances in your makeup, you will definitely not like this. However, this is a beautiful, beautiful foundation stick, especially for dry skin, because this is very hydrating. It is on the thicker side, but it is very hydrating and very comfortable. This blends out like an absolute dream, and it just looks so beautiful on the skin. This definitely gives you a good medium coverage as well. My issue with this is when you do try to build it up, my only issue is that this really isn't very buildable. So if you do try to build this up, any makeup that you put on top is going to move the foundation, which drives me crazy. So while I like the coverage, I actually do like the fragrance. I love how easy this blends out. I just don't love that it kind of becomes a little bit high maintenance if you put on a little too much, and then it's just really difficult to do the rest of your makeup because your foundation is constantly moving around. Or if you go throughout your day and you touch your face, you're going to see that because this moves so much if you use too much. If you are mindful and you do just put on a thin layer and go about the rest of your day, this does work very, very well. But just keep in mind that if you are looking for a little bit more coverage, a little bit more buildable properties, don't go for this one, but this is a really nice one for day to day and those lighter makeup days as well. Coming in at number 2 is from LYS, and this is their No Limits foundation stick. This is really nice. So the packaging is very much in line with all of their other stick products. We do have this sort of triangular component here, and the color of the component is meant to sort of match the foundation shade on the inside. This one is also really, really great. This is really creamy. This will give you a really nice medium coverage, but it sets down far better than the Dior, so it actually won't go anywhere if you do build it up a little bit. This also just blends very easily. It looks very smooth on the skin and makes your skin look very hydrated, but still just gives you that solid medium coverage. I do think this is a really, really nice one. What throws me off about this one, I have the shade LP4, and this is just way too deep. So I think for that reason, I don't love this as much as I could. But again, this is an excellent, excellent option for dry skin. And the number 1 stick foundation in my collection that I love so much, and I'm actually going to have to repurchase fairly soon, is from Fenty Beauty. This is their Ease Drop Blur and Smooth Tint Stick. I have the shade 2. So initially I went based on their shade chart on Sephora, which told me I should be shade 1. Shade 1's way too light, but shade 2 is my perfect match. So the packaging on this looks very inexpensive, and I know this is supposed to be recyclable packaging, so that kind of makes up for it. I actually use this one all the way down to the point, and then when you keep pushing, this comes up. I don't love this packaging for this reason, because now this just moves all around in the component, and I don't love that, but I have used so much of this. This blends out quicker than any of the others that I mentioned. This is so creamy and comfortable. It's buildable. It gives me the exact amount of coverage that I want. I can build it. I can sheer it out. I can do whatever I want with this one. It's so comfortable. It feels very hydrating, and it just looks really beautiful on my skin, and it really gives me that perfected look without making me look dry or cakey, and it's not too glowy. It's just a really solid product. None of these foundations, minus the Charlotte Tilbury, are too glowy. I would say the glowiest after the Charlotte Tilbury would probably be the Dior, but this one just has every single thing I want in a stick foundation. It is really hard to find your shade, especially on Sephora, so I do recommend testing out the shades in store, but this is just the easiest, most convenient to work with stick foundation I have ever used. It feels so good on my dry skin. It performs beautifully. It wears all day long, and it just gives me everything I want. It plays perfectly well with other products. if I am trying to get my makeup done really, really quickly, this is absolutely what I'm going for. And I typically am trying to get my makeup done quickly, especially throughout the week when I just want to get some makeup on so I can pop on a Zoom meeting. I just want quick makeup, and this makes my life so much easier. So this is my absolute favorite stick foundation, especially for dry skin. So for shade comparison, I will pop up the swatches of every single shade side by side as well. So first we have the Charlotte Tilbury in the shade 1. We have the Huda Beauty in 120B Vanilla. We have the Merit in Silk, the Dior in 0N, the LYS in LP4, and then we have the Fenty in shade 2. So you can see what the shades look like side by side. So if you are my shade twin, hopefully that was helpful, but let me know all of your thoughts down below. Do you enjoy stick foundations? Do you avoid them altogether? Do you have a favorite that maybe I should check out? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. I love hearing from you guys so much. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!